I told Jake the funniest and best story of the week is that Gordan Ryan, Andre Galvao thing. For listeners who don't know, Gordan Ryan's the double gold ADCC champion. He's the best no-gi jiu-jitsu guy in the world right now. He's crushing everybody. Talks a lot of shit on Instagram. A lot. To everyone. Like tags them while he's talking shit about them. And
doesn't mind sharing personal messages between him and people he's trying to fight.
Oh, he's
to
ruthless.
Call them pussies. Yeah,
he's a ruthless troll. Like, dude, leading up to the days before he slapped Andre Galvao in the face, he'd been shit talking everybody on Instagram. Like the 2 or 3 days leading up to it, like he'd called out everyone, right? Like he's a troll for sure. You can't deny that. But Andre Galvao is one of the biggest legends in the history of jiu-jitsu. He's got the most, I think, ADCC medals of all time. An absolute legend. He's the founder of Atos, which are all over the world now. His students in that gym are one of the best jiu-jitsu gyms in the world, for sure, the best teams. And, you know, I'm pretty conflicted on this, to be honest with you. Like, I know the Brazilians fucking hate Gordan Ryan, right?
Yeah, you think?
So if anybody is listening to this that's hearing this story from Brazilians, I'm sure they're all talking shit. Like, they are pissed because he talks a lot of shit. And Andre Galvao is like, he's a good guy, you know? Like, he's a good guy within this community. Like, he's a good coach. He cares a lot about his students. But I don't know, man. I want to be tactful here because I see both sides. But also, like, he got fucking punked by Gordan Ryan pretty bad. He bitch slapped him hard.
He does not come across as very brave. I know he is a very brave person, but he gets absolutely walloped and just seems to pretend he didn't get hit.
Yeah, I'm conflicted on this, man, because I'm not the type of person that enjoys anybody hitting someone else, right? Like, especially when they're not really attacking you, right? They were kind of posturing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not really a fan of anybody who hits first. But having said that, these are fighters, right? These guys are highly trained martial artists. They're competing. There's also a little bit of gamesmanship here, right? Gordon's calling out everyone. He's boosted his like social media. He's a little bit like the Conor McGregor of jiu-jitsu right now, in the sense that he's a ruthless trash talker. And he's by far leaps and bounds the best no-gi guy in the world. Like, it's not even close. He fucks up everyone. He has a ridiculously high submission rate. He's only lost a couple times since like he was a black belt, and you know he avenged a lot of those losses. And even if they did, they were points. He hasn't been submitted in fucking years.
None.
And I mean, he's just so dominant, right? And then, listen, in my opinion, in this context, they're both professional athletes. It's being filmed. Everyone knows it's being filmed. Gordan Ryan is all about publicity, right? He loves it. He talks shit openly online. There's a little bit of drama being built up here. And, you know, Andre Galvao went up to him, according to Gordan Ryan, right? This is a story. In that video that he posted, he said that Gordan Ryan went up to shake his hand, and then Andre Galvao flipped him off.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they kind of separated or whatever. And then Gordon's sitting there doing his interview after his fight that he won. And then Andre Galvao comes over and starts talking shit to him again. And he's like, okay, you just flipped me off. That's what Gordon said. That's what Gordan Ryan said.
And I could be getting it wrong. I thought it was straight after the Craig Jones match.
Oh, I don't know what match. I don't know what match.
So I think Craig Jones had just won. And then it was...
It was a pre-fight interview or a post-fight interview?
Post-fight. And,
right.
and it was Craig Jones' post-fight interview. And then he flipped him off there. And that's where it all kicked off, and then they sort of walk him back to be interviewed, and that's where he slaps him. I could be wrong, but that's what I thought happened.
I mean, I can't believe he just fucking slapped him in the face.
Not a little bit either.
It was a hard slap. It was a hard slap. We got some videos. I don't know how much we can show. We can definitely show the slap.
We can show this.
So give a little more context here, right? I don't like people slapping anyone in the face, but if you're two alphas and you're sitting in there and a guy slaps you in the face, you got to attack that motherfucker. Like, you can't just sit back and be like, he literally slapped him in the face, and then he's like, oh, I'm just trying to talk to you. I'm just trying to talk to you. It's like, you can't just be like, I'm trying to talk to you now after the guy assaulted you, right? I mean, he literally he bitch slapped you. That's embarrassing. He didn't punch you. He slapped you, right? Like, first of all, I can't believe he didn't attack back because, one, there's a lot of people around, right? Like, they'd get in there and separate them before anything actually could happen.
Gabby Garcia would have pulled
him. And two,
like,
also, I was kind of shocked that none of his boys jumped in there. Like, these are professional like, they are traveling. These guys travel in packs. I don't know how many people were there and whose guys or what, but it just amazes me that, like, a beloved coach and leader, and I assume he had people there that, like, I was waiting for some dude to come in with a flying fucking kick, like Khabib Conor McGregor style or something, and he slapped him in the face. He didn't do anything but, like, talk back, and no one else jumped in. I mean, he totally just fucking alphaed the shit out of him. Like, in terms of the peacocking or whatever, the show, like, whatever it is, right? Whatever drama, Gordon Ryan won.
Yeah.
You can't just bitch slap somebody in the face and they don't do shit and then try to talk. Like, and I'm not discrediting Andre Galvao. He really is one of the good people in the sport. And anybody that is part of Atos or something listening to this is going to be like, fuck you, man, fuck. I know, he's a really nice guy. I'm just saying, I said this on the group chat to everybody. Like, could you imagine if Gordon Ryan had slapped Nate Diaz in the face?
Yeah. Would have been a very different story.
Nate doesn't even have to win.
No.
Right? But he's going to fucking try to fuck you up, right? Like, he's going to get in your face immediately. Like, you're going to walk up and slap Jorge Masvidal in the face? He doesn't have to win. He's going to attack you no matter what. So it was just really shocking.
Leon Edwards said something slightly impolite to Masvidal, and look what happened. Like,
3 pieces of soda.
3 pieces of soda.
That's what happened. And so I don't know, the kind of, like, just bleed a guy in me is kind of like Gordon Ryan won that. But then, like, the decent human that I pretend to be sometimes and that I strive to be in other times is like, I shouldn't just fucking hit people like that. But I don't know, man. It's also gamesmanship. This is combat sports. It's entertainment. My hope is just that they compete. Because, but I don't know if Andre wants that. I don't
everything
know.
IBJF rules.
You know who wants it. You know who wants it is Gordon Ryan.
Yeah.
And Galvao wants it he wants to win by points, right?
Yep.
And Gordon's like, no, dude, come on, submission only rules, or like, what do you want? Beat me by 2 points and an advantage or something, like?
So madder than that, he said he's put out a contract where he'll let him start mounted. With Gordon Ryan, he'll have his hands above his head, and that's where they'll go from in no gi.
I know. I mean,
which is confident.
And then Andre, you just got dark as shit in the image. Anyway, and then he offered Andre Galvao the match, and then he demanded like $1 million or $500,000 to fight him.
Yeah,
it's like, what? That's insane. Like, that's like Floyd Mayweather being like, I'll only fight you for $11 jillion. It's like, dude, this number is so made up. Like a jiu-jitsu guy getting $1 million. First of all, Gordon Ryan's the upside. Like, he's the A side.
Yeah.
Right. No disrespect again to Galvao. Galvao's competed longer. He's still, I would argue, the currently has had more of a lasting legacy. He's competed longer. He's won more world championships. Gordon's been more dominant in his short amount of time. But, he's also a little bit past his prime. Andre Galvao's a little bit past his prime. Gordon's right in his prime.
Yeah.
And anyway, can we put the...
You want to see it?
Yeah, let's see the slap. So we can't show this whole video, I don't think, but we can definitely show you the slap. It is a hard slap, man. All right, let's see this. I mean, he walks straight up to him, gets in his face. Yep, he pushes him away. Boom! Look, and then he gets up and he's talking, but he's not throwing anything back. And you can just tell by the body language, right? Like, Gordon's standing right where he is. Andre's backing up, like... I mean, I can tell you right now who won that conflict in terms of body language, posturing. The guy that slapped someone is the guy that won that thing. I mean, I just can't believe he didn't attack back. But, I don't know. What is your opinion on this, Jake? Do you respect the fact that he didn't attack back? Or are you kind of like, dude, you gotta fucking... Where do you stand on this? Give me a different opinion, because I'm too much of a bro. I'm too much of a meathead. So, you know what I mean? I need a more... well-spoken person to...
Like, in the chat and stuff, everyone's like, oh, if someone hit me, I'd hit him back and things. And, yeah, that's true most of the time. But I was once in a situation where someone, like, absolutely cracked my brother with a slap, similar thing. We were in a bar drinking, and he got into a scuffle with a guy, and this guy just whacked him. And normally everything would kick off.
Yeah.
But everyone was just so bemused because it was almost like everyone stood back going, did that just happen?
Yeah, people don't know how to react, right?
Yeah, and... it does happen. Maybe,
You know what, man? That's a really good point, actually, because he probably took like 4 or 5 seconds to just process what happened, right? I mean, you're right, man. It's a total like rhythm buster.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, You're there. He thinks that he thinks it's just hey bro, what are you doing? Why are you doing? He's like, dude, back off, dude. Boom, and he's just like,
did that happen?
Yeah, but and then it's like he's kind of already. By the time he's processed what happened, it's just the impulse reaction that a lot of people would have to just snap and fire back is probably like gone. I don't know. You're right, man.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Honestly,
it's just a system overload for like 5 seconds, and then by the time. If he wanted to attack back, he's just the moment's gone.
That's exactly what happened. My brother, like, he got slapped, and we all saw it. And there was like a bunch of us, a bunch of these other guys, and it happened. And then because my brother just stood there, sort of like he was quite pissed. So he was like sort of looking around, as like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And then the momentum had gone.
Exactly. The moment disappears, and then it's like now it's like that weird thing where like if he does something but he waits a little too long. He's like the one that overreacted.
He's the aggressor. Yeah, he'd then be the
But
aggressor.
if you do it immediately, it's reactionary. Yeah. But if he sat there and then he postured for like 10 more seconds and then he jumped, I don't know, it'd still be justified. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because sudden onset violence is weird. And if you're in this group of people, there's also the effect that the spectators have. They know it's being filmed, right?
Yeah.
They're at a jiu-jitsu competition. That puts a weird state around the event. I don't know. So what do you think, man? Would you rather Galvao attack back, or do you think he took the high road?
I genuinely just think he was so shocked and sort of like trying to process it in his mind of like, did that just happen? What's going on? And then it's taken too long, and then he's not fired back straight away.
Do you think?
And he didn't want to back down, and he's just arguing. It was like a.
Do you think? And this is getting a little bro-ish, but I'm just curious about what you think of it. Do you think that Do you wish he had struck back? Do you think he lost a little bit of face?
I mean, it'd be interesting if he had to see how they. I mean, then what would have happened? Who'd have?
I'll tell you what. If they compete and he wins, Gordan Ryan is gonna have to eat the shit of every Brazilian in the fucking world.
Yeah.
He's getting into that state because he's been so dominant for so many years, where he's like. Floyd Mayweather, John Jones, Demetrius Johnson, like people paying to see him lose.
Yep. Yeah.
Right, especially South America, right? I mean, the Brazilians, like, they really want to see him lose back because he talks so much shit.
Yeah.
Right? He talks so much shit. But right now, he's at that state, right, where, like, Floyd Mayweather and Conor had it for a while where as long as he's winning like he's winning, he can talk all the shit. Yep. Nobody can say shit. He's the fucking top dog. And with that comes this aura, like Mike Tyson had, right? But then as soon as you lose, then you have to deal. Like imagine when Colby Covington lost to Usman. I mean, imagine the hate, the shit that guy received from. I mean, all the political spectrum, right? The liberals, the Black Lives Matter, because he's stirring up that conservative Trump people, right? I mean, there's political stuff going on there, and then he's just talking so much shit. I'm sure he had to really fucking just suck it up and eat that,
but what was brilliant about Covington was he just didn't... Like, he probably did behind the scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
his public persona was just still the same guy. It's brilliant.
Well, I talked about... And here's why Gordan Ryan has my respect above all else, right? Because, he talked about how he tried to shake Galvao's hand.
Yeah.
He talks shit online, but all accounts are dealing with him directly. He's pleasant. And I don't necessarily think that makes people two-faced. Right? Like, this is the thing that the Brazilians tend to think about. It's like, oh, you talk shit now. Well, he'll slap you in the face if you come at him directly. But I feel like I feel like it's business to him.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we talk the shit, we make the money, we do the thing. You want to fight? I'll fight you. I'll call you out. He'll still do all that kind of stuff, but he also backs it up, number one. And the biggest testament to them, when I became a huge fan of him, was that fight with Cyborg where he kept slapping him in the face. Did you see that?
Yep.
I mean, he was fighting him like an MMA fight. He was hitting him hard. He was headbutting him, headbutting him in the face, chopping him, slapping him and shit. And Gordan Ryan did not fucking flinch. Did not flinch. He was still winning the match. He didn't, get frustrated ever. Not, this is, a guy, a BJJ world champion in Cyborg Abreu who talks a lot about how the gentle art and the philosophy of jiu-jitsu, who's sitting there, he got so frustrated by this guy that he's hitting him in a jiu-jitsu competition. You see him having, a temper tantrum, right? Like, his rage is just so... And Gordon Ryan is cool as a cucumber. He got the fucking win. He's willing to still shake his hand after the fact. I feel like face-to-face, he's one of those guys that really will shake your hand as long as you can separate the business from it. But as soon as you get in his face and you think he's playing around, he will fucking slap you, right? He has that a little bit now, honestly, like... Maybe I'm gushing a little bit here, but he almost has like that fucking gangster vibe, that Masvidal vibe, that Nate Diaz vibe, where it's like he talks the shit, and those guys are also always polite to your face.
Yeah.
Right? But if you want to fucking get gangster, you think they're not going to? He's getting there, man. He's in that kind of territory. And, you want guys, go watch that fight with If you want to appreciate Gordon Ryan, you watch Cyborg just literally give in to his frustration and start slapping hard, headbutting, like blatant hard fouls in jiu-jitsu, and it barely even affected Gordon Ryan.
And the ref just stood there going, I'll allow it, it's fine.
I know, it was like so long. And anyway, so what was the other thing I wanted to talk about this Gordon Ryan, Andre Galvao thing? Oh, was there anything else on that before we move on? Because my next segue was Rodolfo Vieira. So...